Hello everyone, it's Javeria here. I was really excited to do this review thing. It's just gonna be me rambling on for a while, talking about what happened at the event and what I thought was interesting, what I thought could become better. So, Marklet Dialogue 21 was hosted by APRI. It was a 2 day event, 13 to 14 December, and it was really interesting because we had these forums that were divided within these 2 days. So, on the first day was the CEO's forum, and the Commanders Forum that came right after it. And on the second day was the Diplomats Forum and then the Scholars Forum. And by the way, given my area of interest, the second day was obviously far more interesting for me. So on the first day, it was the CEOs and Commander Forum, and I thought that was really interesting because with Pakistan talking about its geoeconomic pivot, I feel like the business community really needs to come forward, and it also obviously requires a lot of support from the state for them to actually become a dominant face, in terms of our image management, of if that's a thing to say. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting because in both those forums, the impact of technology was being discussed. How digitization really is happening all over the world and how Pakistan has to keep up with it. And what are the potential impacts? Are they good? Are they bad? And so that was really interesting to see how that discussion went. But I was also interested to see how the Commanders Forum, which, by the way, a lot of the technical terms did not come to my understanding, but from what I at the end understood was that there was the element of dehumanization happening because of the UAVs and the drone technology incoming. And while many thought that was a good thing because, less bloodshed, but many thought, what about the, unintended impacts of such technology? So that was really interesting. And you had speakers from Japan, from US, UK, Russia, China. So, and interestingly enough, you have all of these countries with dividing policies coming together on a Pakistani forum. That was really interesting for me. And so on the second day, which by the way was my favorite, was the Diplomats Forum and the Scholars Forum. So there were diplomats from Russia, there was a Chinese deputy, there was a High Commissioner from UK, the Russian ambassador, we had the US former ambassador, and then there was also basically a mix of all these ambassadors coming together. And really the topic of discussion was really interesting and important because where does Pakistan go from this point onwards? Pakistan has been so locked in the narratives that the world has been talking about it. So how does Pakistan become a credible entity, among all of these wars of narratives? That was really interesting discussion. I really liked it, and I was really happy to hear Ms. Hina Rabanikar. As always, she has some interesting things to say about geopolitics. And then I'm sorry if you hear all sorts of things in the background because I'm sitting in a public space. So, and another interesting thing was what the High Commissioner of UK said. I was actually blown away by the fact that he actually said Pakistan needs to pivot towards the Pacific too, because that's where the world is shifting. And I'm someone who has been talking about it. People who know me know how much I want our country to actually, find out our identity as an Indian Ocean country and to have actually a policy in the maritime domain as well. I mean, we might have a policy, but then where's the tangible part of it? But that's like another discussion. So anyway, that was a very interesting discussion, and I absolutely enjoyed being part of the audience. I unfortunately didn't have the chance to pose my questions, which I had many. But then in the second one, which was the Scholars Forum, it was a stellar lineup. I can't remember all the people who were sitting up on stage, but there were some really, really interesting people up on stage, like Professor Huma Bakai. There was Professor Barnett Rubin, a favorite for me, and there was also Professor Yasmin from University of Western Australia, and a couple of other. Naseem Zahra, she's a national security expert. So a lot of people were up there, and it was really interesting to see their ideas come together. But I feel like the most impactful person on stage at that point was actually Dr. Adil Najm. I hope I'm saying his name right. I'm pretty sure that was his name. And he really redefined the concept of national security from an entirely environmentalist perspective. And I really respect him for that because he was the keynote speaker in the very beginning. So he completely changed the tone of the discussion. And that's what I'm here for. Like, what's the other side of the story? What is the other way? What is the different perspective to look at things at? Because your military perspectives are going to tell you that why war is at some point important, or how you need to maintain a certain level of deterrence and blah blah blah, all sorts of things that I'm still yet to understand. But what Dr. Atal Najam did was a line that I obviously cannot forget, and I've also posted small clips of his videos on my Twitter profile. He basically mentioned how nature doesn't wait for you to save it, it just hits back, and that's basically what's going to happen. It's not about looking at what's going to happen tomorrow, but what's happening right now. So if you have to make any changes to your policies, do it right now, because global warming is real, climate change is real. And anyway, so that was one interesting discussion, and from there on we sort of move on to what's called, basically moved on to the other perspectives. We had Dr. Hu Shisheng, if I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. He was also present through video call, and he said something really impactful, and it was about how bad governance is basically the cause of economic inequalities. And so I thought that was really, really an important point to highlight. Either way, the event went really well in terms of content. But one thing that really bothered me was the amount of students. There were basically very few students. And the time period for audience questions was basically very less. So there was less time to actually indulge into a dialectic sort of atmosphere, a discussion of that sort, which I think which should be done in upcoming events. So on both days, there wasn't much chance or time. I mean, I can understand there are diplomats and people who already have work to do. But then I think it would be really, really interesting, like from this point onwards, perhaps include more audience, especially perhaps have a students forum, if so, to actually have to hear what other people have to say, and not just to hear the point of view of diplomats and people of expertise, but what does the common man, the public, think, and have a discussion on those questions as well. So I feel like that's something that could have been done. Having a more audience time period would have actually resulted in a more fruitful discussion, so to say. And the other thing perhaps that can be done better is to involve more speakers, to have more diversity in our panelists. Sure, we had all the big powers up on stage. That's great. I feel like that's amazing. That's diplomacy. But to actually have other countries, and I was really bummed not to see representatives from the Arab world, because I feel like this forum could have been an important way to sort of highlight where our future policies are going to be going. Maybe have someone from UAE, Turkey, Central Asian countries, expand the outreach, because that's what people like me are looking for. How are we expanding our outreach? And then a very interesting point made by the foreign minister during the event was how there was, if I'm not wrong, it was the foreign minister, about the Engage Africa policy and how we're reaching out to other countries. But then we should have had people come in from Africa and discuss what is going on, and perhaps have some people on expertise in Africa come here and talk about it. So that would have really changed the entire conference in itself. All in all, it was an amazing event. The most important thing was perhaps the stage, because how well your stage looks actually sets the tone for the discussion as well. So kudos to the people who came up with the minimalistic stage idea. I thought that was really, really, really smart. So yeah, that was my experience of the Margla Dialogue 21. And I hope that in the future, with all these events coming up, we all get to have a ticket to actually join them. And I hope they continue to expand. So that was just my 5 to 6 minutes of rambling on the event.